everybody. My name is Stacy Benjamin, Director of Special Programs at CIEE, and I am honored to be joined by Dr. Carie Little Hersh, Professor of Anthropology at Northeastern University. And Northeastern's pledge to lead change and study abroad was to send more students to Africa by developing 2 programs in Ghana and Botswana specifically for this summer. And to make it possible for students to earn the maximum number of credits that they can during the summer, participants will also take a course online before they go abroad. And Dr. Hersh will teach one of those courses. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So the course that I am teaching is Anthropology 101 or 1101, Peoples and Cultures of the World. So it's a bit of a survey class about the kind of topics and concepts of anthropology, focusing on human diversity and culture. And we kind of travel around the world a little bit and look at examples from all the continents of how people are remarkably diverse and adaptable and resilient. So with this particular incarnation, we'll be concentrating a little bit more on Ghana and Botswana just to give students a little bit more background before they step foot there.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how you've adapted the course to make it relevant to the students who will be studying abroad?
One of the things that I'm doing with this course to hopefully help the students feel more connected is that I'm putting them into groups based on surveys of where they're going, at the end of the class, whether to Ghana or Botswana, and then kind of where they are in the world and what their interests are in this project, etc. And so while they're in groups, they will be doing a handful of group projects through the 5 weeks where they'll have to work together to process the information and present it online. So I'm hoping that some friendships will form so that when they show up at the airport, it's not, shockingly different. Everything is, shockingly new. Even though it's online and it's asynchronous, which I think allows for everybody in the world to participate, right? You don't have to be in any particular time zone to do this. We'll still stay connected, through the course.
One of the goals of the Pledge to Lead Change and Study Abroad is to increase access to this opportunity. So I'm wondering if any part of that mission resonates with you personally.
I mean, I feel strongly everyone should study abroad, or everyone should travel at least. I never got the opportunity to study abroad in a formal way, but I think, when I was growing up, my father was in the military, and so we moved everywhere in the United States. I mean, we moved coast to coast, north to south, corner to corner, and it's a really big country and it's a really diverse area. And moving from Virginia to Washington State is quite culture shock in some ways. And I think it's so important for us to feel comfortable meeting new people and going new places. And I think that is one thing that the class and the anthropology in general is really good about, is preparing us for that feeling of culture shock or discomfort when we experience something we're not used to, and allowing us to sort of pause and take stock of what we're experiencing emotionally, right? I think we oftentimes confuse anxiety and intuition. And so, we see something, we're like, oh no, I'm scared, it's different, and in fact, it's really just different.
That sounds like great training, not just for these participants, but for everybody in life in general.
Absolutely. Yeah, I am very passionate about anthropology being relevant to everything, because I think that it helps us understand so much more about everything from social conflict to what's happening politically to, why are we feeling a little bit kind of depressed and alone, and you look around and a lot of people feel that way. And so anthropology gives us the tools and the concepts to really think about things that are incredibly important to our lives.
I was wondering how you got involved in this in the first place, if you wouldn't mind telling that story.
Yeah, well, I know that they were looking for courses to partner up with the travels, and anthropology, the Introduction to Cultural Anthropology course is like a natural fit for this. And it actually, when I learned about what the Ghana program is doing in particular, it's a perfect fit. They're really focusing on a lot of kind of similar questions, similar materials for the students. And the Botswana one, which is more health focused, I think is similarly going to be similarly connected, even though the topics are more specific. And so the Peoples and Cultures class, like I said, I'd already done sort of a construction of an online course. And so I was excited to sort of modify it even more for the purpose of this class. This is one of my favorite classes to teach. I think a lot of professors don't like teaching big intro classes. But for me, I know for most students, it's the only anthropology class they're ever going to take. And having them think about these things in their daily lives as they move through computer science or nursing or whatever their degree is very impactful. So I think being a part of this program was fabulous, and I can't wait to hear from the students once they're actually like in Africa doing sort of the on the ground learning. I can't wait to hear about their experiences.
Me too. And I thank you so much for your adaptability, because I think because of that, it has made it possible for more students to take part. And I thank you for joining me today. Anything that you wanted to add that's about the course, about the experience?
I just wish I could have taken this in college. I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and I'm very grateful that your organization was able to partner with Northeastern to make it happen. I think it's going to have a big impact on students' lives.